So Symphony X. First album came out in, I believe, 1995, and since then they have made 9 albums, with the latest one being Underworld that came out in 2015, I believe. Um, Over the years, the band has steadily grown in popularity with a rise in numbers on the album Paradise Lost, which gained them a fair bit of a following. Um, the band is labelled as being heavy metal, progressive metal, and maybe bits of power metal as well. The guys of the band are known for being very talented. The singer, for one, is known by a lot of people to be one of the best newcomer singers in the metal industry, even though he has been in the industry for a while now. So, not really newcomer, but he is still known as one of the best metal singers. The guitarist is known for being extremely talented, knowing his instrument very well, being a great composer, a great music writer. All the bands are known for being in tune with their instruments and making great sounds and great music, and they're known for just putting out great albums and songs. So, do I feel the same? Do I think the singer is really that good? Do I think the guitarist is that good? Do I think all the people are great with their instruments and make amazing music, unlike other bands? Well, we'll see. So, this is going to be all for the album Underworld. So, the album starts with an opener, lasting about 2 minutes. It's a pretty long opening. It's a bit kind of dark and moody. It's got a choir going with the orchestra. It's very dark, very creepy. About halfway in, the band kind of kick in, so the drums get going, get a pretty decent speed. The guitar isn't really doing much of a speed or anything. It's more just making a heavy, aggressive presence and being foreboding and everything. And then from there, the keys start making a bit more of a presence, the keyboards. The guitar and the drum kind of change their paces throughout the last half, so they keep kind of changing the pace and taking breaths in other places until it kicks into the actual first song, which is Nevermore. So Nevermore, basically the first track, kicking things off very quickly and heavy. Everything's going at a fast pace. When Russell comes in, he's kind of singing quite quickly, kind of deep, and when the pre-chorus comes, then his voice kind of opens up more and he starts kind of singing properly and it flows. His voice, it sounds really nice. And then the chorus comes in, the keys make more of a presence around there than any other part of the song, making it all very kind of light and bright, and with the voice it goes really well. Then it gets back to the riff with the instruments all being kind of fast paced, the keys step down a bit. Russell the singer going back to his kind of aggressive, kind of froggy sounding voice thing that he's doing. This is the thing, I don't kind of consider this really singing. So, already a negative. Like, the pre-chorus and the chorus is what I consider singing. Like, he's holding on to the words, he's enunciating, he's projecting, he is putting in a lot of power and everything, and it shows great beauty. The riff, he's just going quick and then pausing and just kind of quickly getting it out again, not really hanging on anything, not projecting, not making each word he's saying sound great. He's just kind of rushing through with a croaky kind of voice. It's kind of weird. It's not bad, it's just for a singer that's really good, I just think that, which other people can do, and if they're not as good a singer, it's passable. But because this guy's such a good singer, I think it's kind of hard to excuse that, because I don't really think that's proper singing. The voice is still good and everything, but it is not exactly what singing is supposed to be. So, gets back to the chorus. He's singing properly. It sounds amazing. His voice is extremely powerful and nice. He's making more of the present, taking a bit of the lead. The solo comes in, and the solos last a long time on this album. They're really flashy and all over the place. He definitely knows what he's doing. And next track, Underworld. This isn't as musical as Nevermore, because half of the song, Russell, it's still that kind of stupid grunting that he's doing. It's not really musical. It's not really what I'm looking for in a great singer, because it's just like he's messing around, not really taking it seriously. But halfway through the song, the proper chorus comes in, and then the voice again opens up, and he's actually singing, holding on to each word, and putting effort into what he's doing. Sounding nice. The solo again lasts a while. It's really flashy and everything. And the next track, Without You, we're now on to a melodic. Without You is an incredible melodic track. The tone the guitars have are beautifully warm, rich in sound. A little thick, but he's not really doing much, so it doesn't have to be overly sharp and articulate. It sounds like it's finger-picked, maybe. Not 100% with that. But it's a really nice, rich, warm, thick sound he's got. Russell is again singing. It's a lower register, not as bright as previously. It's kind of low, kind of deep, but it is singing. It's just he is doing it properly in a lower key. So there's the pre-chorus, which takes its time, but Russell's voice goes up to a higher pitch, and it sounds amazing. The chorus, Russell really kicks it into high pitch, and he's doing them really high notes very, very well. It's amazing. The chorus, his voice sounds great. When they go back into the riff, the tones kind of change for everyone. The tone of the guitar seems to change. The singer seems to change kind of tone as well. So just mixing it up with tone, but other than that, I think it's still the same. It's just they change the tone of as much as I can tell everything. The solo is still kind of flashy. Like going through this album, every track, the solos seem flashy. They are diverse, because he knows how to be different with shred. So he takes breathes here and there, and then he can shred further up the neck, further down the neck. He knows when to take a breathe, when to hold something. There's things put into the shred to musically change it, so bends and sweep picking and all sorts of things. So they all sound different. So Without You, even though it's still kind of flashy, it is a bit more kind of bright and musical than the others, but it's still flashy. Okay, so Kiss of Fire. This is, for me, the worst track, because pretty much everything is going wrong in this. um, because the intro to the riff to the chorus, um, there's subtle changes, but they all kind of bleed together. So it's not very diverse, I find. Like the riff into the chorus, the only difference is kind of they have a choir coming in just doing chants, just ha ha, and that's kind of it. Other than that, it's kind of hard to really distinguish if the instruments are actually doing anything different. And then when Russell sings the title "Kiss of Fire," he does it extremely high pitched. But other than that, it all kind of sounds the same. There's very subtle changes, but there's nothing very diverse. The songs are really not going places, and Symphony X are pretty well known for making really long songs, so this is still a long song, 5 minutes or something, I believe, this one. So, for it to just kind of always be the same, I just don't see why they did it. Because it's not really progressive, it's the same to me. It progresses, but it's not completely new and interesting. Like, it's all the same tone, the singer's always doing the same style, it's back to that silly little grunting thing he does, with some kind of screams or something, which I don't know why he's doing. He has a great voice, and he's growling at you. It's really, really stupid. For a great singer, like, you would think he'd be more, smart than that, instead of thick. But, when he says "kiss the fire," that's, impressive, but basically that's all I really get from the song, just that "kiss of fire." I'm just like, wow. And that's about it. The rest of it is just like, yeah, this is alright, a bit boring, repetitive. Solo's still great, but again, all he really kind of does is shred. He never really slows down and does something very slow and melodic or anything kind of jazzy or blues. It's all very intense. Shred. Like, he knows shred, so the shred is diverse, but when it's all kind of the fast kind of really showing off, and that is it for a band that's supposed to be so progressive and everything. I don't know, it's just not ideal. Like, the keyboardist has leads, not on every track, but on every now and then the keyboardist also takes a lead solo. But that's again just flashy, just sounds like keys, so it's the same as the guitar, it's just keys. So, yeah, it's not bad or anything, it is very talented and it's great playing. It's just, after about 5 of the same thing, to go through that 5 times yet again, it gets kind of repetitive. And I know a lot of people in the community listen to bands that never really change their sounds and they're completely content with it. I'm not one of them people. If you are just a person who just really likes showing off shred and you really don't want anything else, then this is ideal. Like, I like shred, I like showing off, because I like to see how diverse a person is, but that's the thing. I like to see diversity, so I want to see more than that. I want to see as much as they can offer. And this guy shows he's really good at kind of one thing. So, and then the singer again, like, I know a lot of people are going to be very annoyed that I don't like Russell's kind of singing in Kiss of Fire and then the riffs of Underworld and Nevermore, because he's kind of got a frog in his throat or something and he's kind of growling, and it's not really projecting anything great, because I hear a great singer, and for him to do that, it's just like, I want to hear the biggerness of his voice, the power, not that. And saying, well, it can't always be power, that's diversity then, which I ask for. It's like, well, yeah, there is diversity, like, without you, he sung in a lower key than all the others, where he actually properly sings, and that was fine. Like, you can sing in lower keys and everything, but his voice just does not work for what Kiss of Fire is. It does not work because it just doesn't really sound like proper singing to me. So next track, Sharon, whatever. From here on out, things kind of get a lot better because he never kind of goes to that stupid singing style he does. This is all proper singing. So Sharon, whatever. Everything is very musical. The riffs are musical. The voice is musical, and it sounds really nice. Solo is still doing the typical thing. And then To Hell and Back, the chorus is absolutely fantastic. The chorus, pretty kind of old school, but it takes it very slow. It works on beauty, kind of being catchy. It kind of sticks with you. It's not the pop type of catchy or anything. It's not that. It's what metal catchy is supposed to be, which a lot of people in the community doesn't seem to understand. They think that catchy in metal is just what pop is. But some people just say, oh, they're going for the catchiness. Like, that's a bad thing. But because they just say they're going for the catchiness but don't explain on it, and they're basically saying it as a mean thing, all that's telling me is that they think that metal shouldn't be catchy. When it is, it's just we have a different way of doing it. And the To Hell and Back chorus is that catchy, memorable, pretty thing. But it's not like pop. There's a lot going on in it. There's a lot of beauty. The singing is a lot grander than what pop artists do. And it's big and open in sound. It's not like pop. And then the rest of the song, obviously the song lasts too long to be on the radio because people would, who listen to pop, wouldn't cope with how long it is. Their brains would shut off because they don't have an attention span. And yeah, it's very catchy. It does take a few listens to remember the whole song. It's just the chorus really stands out. And the rest of it sounds really nice. Basically the same with In My Darkest Hour. The chorus kind of slows it down, and it's memorable. It sounds really nice. The rest of it sounds nice. The riff to this one, I don't know if I could personally say I prefer it to Hell and Back. I think I do. I think I prefer In My Darkest Hour's riff. It's just musically it all kind of fits together with the singing, with the music. It kind of works all together, so it's a lot more memorable than the other songs they do. Run with the Devil, pretty much again the same thing. It's got a nice chorus, everything's nice about it. Swan Song is back to melodic, so this is melodic just like what was that song called, Without You. So this is again melodic like Without You, but it's melodic in a different way. It sounds completely different, and then the album finishes on Legend, which is kind of a melodic, heavy. It's kind of musical like Run with the Devil and In My Darkest Hour and To Hell and Back, but it's, to me, seems a bit more laid back than even them. So summing up the album, the guitarist, as I said, is very, very good, but his solos are all pretty much on the technical side. I found it hard to hear one solo where he really just was doing something really nice and melodic. Or it's just like he poured his heart out into it, and you could just kind of get pain out of it, or something really deep. Like, all I was getting was there's a lot to process. There's a lot here he's offering. Some songs with the flashy stuff he does strip it back at times, but again that's just to show diversity instead of showing an emotion or anything, or telling a story through the sound of the guitar. It all kind of just seems like taking the structure of the song and then just doing something that musically fits it, but basically just showing off skill. That's kind of all I kind of get from him. And then the keys, they make themselves more known when there's a lot more musical going on. I prefer the musical stuff, as I've explained. The keys are very well. They do key solos as well. Again, just like the guitarist, kind of just showing off. He doesn't have as much skill as the guitarist. It is a lot more kind of basic and not as varied as the guitarist. And the songs are long. There's a lot of structure going on. The songs do change a lot. Kiss of Fire was just not diverse in the slightest, to me personally. I seriously don't know what that was. It just really seems odd in the album. I'd like to hear comments on that, because I know a lot of people like Symphony X, and there's a lot of people who like Russell and the guitarist, so they're going to say, oh my god, he's really in touch with his musical, very slow side, which I guess ain't in this album. And Russell's choky, froggy voice is legendary brilliance, which, to me, I don't think so. And they'll probably say that Kiss of Fire is probably the most diverse song in this album, because there's a lot of fanboys and they really will stick to it instead of just going, I disagree, but I do get it, but I like Kiss of Fire, and just give me a reason or something instead of completely crapping all over me. Yeah, Kiss of Fire didn't really work for me. The guitarist, very, very talented, but just a one-trick thing, really. But he is diverse in that trick, so not too much hate there. They have keys, so there's more instruments than in others, because other bands, they don't have that. Some people don't like keys, some do. I like them if they're done right. In this, it is done right. I really like it. It gives it a bit more grandness, a bit more of an epic, bigger sound. It kind of makes it more musical in areas as well. Russell's voice, again, it's a very good voice, Russell's voice. He gets to really high notes. He can do the low registers as well. He can hold notes and everything. He's got great power, great hold over what he's doing. But again, in Nevermore, Underworld, and Kiss of Fire, it's just that singing style. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's not really musical. And if you're going, well, it's not musical, it's supposed to be aggressive, well, it's not musically aggressive. A voice can always be musical and show a lot of different sides. And I don't think he really did it. I don't think he pulled it off. I just don't. And as for the musical structures, as I said, all songs are long, like 5 minutes and upwards. I don't think there's anything under 5 minutes, to be fair. There may be, but I don't think there is. And the songs do change. They show new, unique sounds and everything. But the first half of the album until Sharon, whatever, all has the kind of rough vocals, aggressive kind of sounds, besides the track Without You. And then from Sharon after, it's all that really musical stuff. But then that's it. As I said, Sharon and To Hell and Back and In My Darkest Hour, Run With the Devil, all pretty much kind of sound the same. There's no very unique sound to them. It's metal, it is progressive metal, and it is power metal in elements. But it's not a very specific sound. Or if you played a tiny clip, It'd be, this is Symphony X's own unique sound. It could be tied to other bands. Like, what I'm getting at is Iron Maiden's Seventh Son album. I'm playing a clip of that, it's very Seventh Son, or Somewhere in Time. A clip of that, it's Somewhere in Time. It's hard, if not impossible, to really play that, and another band has done that. It's very different and very unique. Like Trivium's Shogun album, I think that's a very unique sound. Bullet's Poison album, I think that's a very unique sound. And Avenged Sevenfold The Stage is a very unique sound. This album, I don't think has a unique sound. And although the songs do diverse and everything, I don't think they diverse enough. Again, Iron Maiden, from album to album, it's so different, so diverse. Same with Avenged Sevenfold and bands like that. Change album to album. No, I know this is just one album, but they change from song to song. There's a lot of diversity throughout the songs. As for in Symphony X, as I said, the first album is all kind of one thing apart from the track Without You, and then after Kiss of Fire, it's all musical side with not much of a difference. Like, all the solos are pretty much shred. The singing at the first album, it's very kind of croaky, sped up weirdness, and then after Kiss of Fire, it's all the melodic, really, really nice sounding stuff. And it's like the first album, it's this, and then the second part of the album, it's this, and then the guitars, it's just like, it's all of this. I'm just going to be do it all differently, but it's all kind of in the kind of really shred speed type of thing, and technicality stuff. So it is a great album, but for the amount of talent they have, I do think they can do more. I think Russell's voice could be better, because as I said, in Kiss of Fire, I don't know why he's doing that. He can sound way better. Like, I know it's an aggressive kind of side to the voice, but I think he can do that better while it's still being singing and musical instead of that. And I think the sound they can do, I think it can be a more kind of unique, their own type of sound, and then change a lot more throughout. Because as I said, it's a perfect split. The first half heavy, and then the second half melodic and musical. And all the songs, it is still that kind of core sound and doesn't really diverse. Like Nevermore's riff, the Underworld riff, Kiss of Fire riff, all kind of the same. Like the pre-choruses and the choruses, do change it up a bit. But it's still not to a grand level. It's definitely more diverse than the riff stuff, which is all kind of the kind of speedy, kind of aggressive, heavy sound on the instruments, and the aggressive sounding voice. So it's all the same. It is different, but it just sounds very similar. And then the melodic pre-choruses and the choruses sound a lot more diverse, but again, it's no unique personal sound of theirs, and it's not very changed up. And then the second half of the album is the most musical, and everything, and definitely the most memorable parts of the album is the musical side. So Without You is very memorable, To Hell and Back is memorable, In My Darkest Hour is memorable. The Nevermore pre-chorus and chorus is memorable. There is it is a long album with a lot going on, which does mean it takes a few listens to kind of get it all in your head, because there is a lot going on and a lot to process. If you're used to it, it comes faster, but it still takes a while over other things that are a lot more simple and very easy to remember, because there's not really much to remember. You know what I mean? So, yeah, the guitarist, I think he needs to stop showing I'm very gifted and talented, and do something a bit more stripped back and bluesy, kind of jazzy, just something melodic. Instead of in a melodic song, it's kind of melodic, but it's all shred. Because, yeah, you're great and everything, but you need more than that. And Russell, like in the second half, it is all very musical and everything and bright, but you need to kind of work on a lot lower register key, something a lot deeper, not that aggressive stuff you're doing in Nevermore and Kiss the Fire. And then Kiss the Fire, it was fine, but it just seems so odd because it really was not diversing anything and being and changing and evolving. It was all pretty much very similar in sound and tone. I just don't understand Kiss of Fire. So yeah, the album I'd probably give it an 8 because it is a very good album. It's not a 9 or a 10. It's not a masterpiece. It's not great and epic or anything like that. This is a very good album. You got all the instruments there, which are very good. You got a very good singer and everything. And the songs kind of do progress, and there is changes, but there's not enough changes. The singer makes mistakes, I think. The guitarist needs to do more. The sound and everything needs to do more. But as musicians, they are all very talented. And there is a lot there. Which is why I'm going to give it the 8. And then Kiss of Fire, as I said, wasn't really anything special. If they worked on these few things, I could have probably bumped it up to the 8.5. But I think 8 is good enough after everything I've said and things. And an 8 is still a good score. I know people absolutely adore Symphony X and think they don't do any wrong and they are a masterpiece group. So they're probably thinking an 8 is extremely rude and insulting. But that's what I think. So an 8 for Symphony X Underworld. I'm sure people are going to comment, although no one really ever does, so probably not. But yeah, I'd like to see what people think of Kiss of Fire, if they kind of agree that it's just kind of seemed a bit repetitive, because I really think it is. So I am very curious if people think differently to that, and if they do, why. So, thanks for watching, and I hope to see people in the comments being nice again, because it is just an opinion, and I'm allowed to think it, and I backed it up with things. So you can't just go, you're wrong, because I can't be, because it's just an opinion. And yeah, so thanks for watching. If you like, subscribe. I'll do more stuff like this. If you like, leave a like. And if you want to discuss it, then please leave a comment, because I do like talking. I have been pretty busy and having a hard time recently. But I'll try and get back to messaging people. So thanks, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.